privileged
Yo, we are so spoiled.
No, we are, because there was a meme, or like I wouldn't say a meme, but it was like a play on what everybody's been saying. That's like, I'm so tired of living through historical events. And it's like, oh yes, you say that as you stand in your at-home office with your beautiful
like that's what I mean. It's like,
that was to your point, right?
We're not.
And we're like so out of touch.
I mean, like, sure, the pandemic was
is
like something that we went through, but this is not something that like you're going through.
Yeah,
like you will maybe, like if something happens, like obviously that's going to affect like this country, and like that's why it's scary. But that's what I'm saying is like, you're not living through historical events. You're watching them. Major historical events. That is not the same experience that people in Russia or people in Ukraine are having. Like people in Ukraine are literally living their homes. Like they're trying to they're like, the only concern I have right now is to take my family to a safe place.
Staying alive, yeah.
And like, I don't know that Americans have ever really had that feeling of like, I need to, like, this is for fucking real and I need to fucking leave. Like, I need to, this is not safe and I need to be somewhere safe.
The last time there was war on American soil was Civil War. So like
No, the Alamo War of 1812 with Canada. No, there was some conflict in the like the War of 1812 happened. That was after 1776 for sure.
That was after the Civil War?
Yeah, the Civil War.
That was after Lincoln?
I don't know if it was after Lincoln. No, Emancipation Proclamation was after that. But there was conflict in town.
The Civil War was during that, was it?
Oh, then maybe.
Because that's like the North and the South
I'm tripping. I don't know. Maybe the Civil War was the last time.
I believe the last time.
I thought the Alamo was after that.
No, because we had already claimed all of that shit.
I mean, I don't know shit about American history, but I feel like from the point of view of like there's been wars in America, but
that was the last war that we had, which was North and South fighting over food.
But Texas wasn't part of the Civil War, was it?
Yeah.
What?
I'm tripping. I don't know.
But even then, like, those are like wars within like Americans with Americans. Like I'm saying like they haven't had that feeling of like,
there has never been a foreign entity invade the country.
Third party is about to fuck us up. Like fuck us up, and like everything that I've known is probably gonna be gone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, when have they, you know, like America has never been in the position of Ukraine or Syria.
Whenever people on the right usually say like, oh, we're like during in 01, after 01, I remember being young and being told this like as the draft and this and that. And I remember in middle school, in late middle school, early high school, I had a girlfriend whose family was like, you know, that dad was a Marine and like all this crazy shit, and they were all like, the draft is the most honorable thing you could do for your country and blah blah blah, this and that. And I was like, first of all, even back then, I in my mind, I'm like, first of all, you talk about like losing freedom as if they're right outside, as if like they're right outside of Houston being like, that's, yo, we coming on Wednesday. Like that's not happening, bro. Like you've never had to actually fight for your freedom yet. Yes. Hopefully we'll never have to do that. But like that's not happening. You claiming you're fighting for freedom by going to Iraq is intellectually ridiculous. Yeah.
It has always been like anticipated moves. Right. It's always been like preventive.
Yeah, like no, your son, daughter, dad, uncle, like they're going off and they're potentially dying for some corporatist and some politician that's making a decision about some foreign affairs that can affect like oil prices and shit like this. Your freedom is not in any way, shape, or form jeopardized or in danger to any degree. Yeah. So that to your point about like how I'm like, look how you're saying like we're so privileged. Yeah. We're so spoiled about the fact that like, oh my God, like we're really about to experience the next like worldwide crisis. Let me tweet about
That's what
it.
I mean.
Like, let
it's
me
like
send
you
a message
say it like
about
it's like an exciting thing. Like it's gonna be like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell
like,
my kids that I lived through this. Or like
you're saying like, oh my God, I'm suffering so much. Like after this is inconveniencing my whole day. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Either figure out a way to like help if you're gonna try to do something, or just like read about it and don't say anything.
Well, and your point of like somebody from an older generation having that mindset of like, I'm fighting for freedom, goes back to your other point about
patriotism.
And nowadays, like, we are getting information from all different areas where they had this tailored information to them that was just like all this propaganda of, like, if you don't go and fight for your country, they're gonna come and take it from you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Nowadays we're like, we know why you're really there.
I saw a meme today.
I saw a meme today.
One of my old teachers posted this thing that was like, hey, millennials, if you guys want help on how to like deal with this like ongoing crisis and anxiety, just find your Gen Xer, because we spent so much time doing drills about how to fight nuclear power, eating Pop-Tarts during like blah, blah, blah. And it was like this like nonchalant thing. It was trying to be like, oh, we've been through it before, like kind of thing. And I'm just like, first of all, this isn't about you.
Yeah,
and it's not happening to us.
Number two, like, you didn't need a drill, baby. You needed therapy. Like, go heal. Go heal.
If that, like, okay, so you did drills because if even that, like, yes, you did drills because
what is this
you were
competition to see who suffers the most?
Right,
Why
like,
do you want the next generation to have to go through as much as you did? That sounds just so fucked up.
Or just highlight the fact that, like, oh, well, we did it. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's this, you know, like, what I mean? Oh, we had to suffer so much and y'all have it so easy. Which, number one, y'all fucked up the economy. I haven't forgotten. Number two, like, that's not like, listen, to have gone through a lot and come out of that is very admirable, but that's not something to brag about. And that's not something that you should wish on other people. Like, you shouldn't be like, I am more than you because I've been through more. It's like, you probably shouldn't have gone through that. Like, I feel bad for you. You shouldn't have experienced that, but not bad enough to put myself through that either.
And even if you do make a direct comparison, I still think this generation wins, or at least not the millennial generation, but Gen Zers, I absolutely think they still win, because shooting drills is a lot more scary than like potential nuclear disaster drills, because you know what? Shooting drills are happening to us.
Yeah.
It's happening to our young people. It's happening to the sons and daughters of millennials and potential Gen Xers that don't know how to fight through this because they've never gone through this before. Like, you still don't win. Even if you really wanted to make the competition, even if you did want to be like, well, we did it, like, you still don't win, because what these young kids have to go through right now is
hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's ridiculous. And it just goes back to the point that you're making about, like, it's not really happening to you.
Yeah.
It's not. Anthony Jeselnik has a really poignant joke in his dark humor comedy where, like, he doesn't like it. He says, like, oh, thoughts and prayers. And at the very end of that little thing, he says, like, every single time you say thoughts and prayers, what you're really actually saying is, don't forget about me today. Don't forget about what I'm going. Don't forget that my voice matters too. And it's like, that's such a fucking great point, because only the people that can say those kinds of things are the people that are not going through it, that are trying to, like, empathize with other people. That being said, not saying that you shouldn't be learned on foreign affairs and how they can potentially be problematic, right? But, like, those kinds of things at this current point in time, though, that is happening and it is scary to watch. And we, you know, if you do want to be empathetic and set and pray or whatever it is that you're doing, like if anything, it should just inform you about, like, how to potentially look at either future politicians or what your current politicians are saying and thinking about these current things that can potentially in any given point in time affect your actual life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not something for you to be like, okay, well, we need to, like, start comparing or start being like, oh my God, like, our freedom is in danger, or oh my God, Biden is a disgrace or a coward, or oh, I bet you guys are all missing Trump right now. Like, this is not the time.
Number one, nobody's missing Trump.
Because that's not happening.
Like, number two, I mean? like you're not. It's to your point. Like, you're not helping. You're just trying to make that about yourself. You're just trying to have a voice on an issue that you feel like, like you weren't, like, included in from the beginning, which is like, are you out of your mind?
It's just tone deaf. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? It's American. That's what it is.
To be fair, that is probably the most American thing you can do. Just involve yourself in shit that has nothing to do with you, and be like, yo, like, it's mine now.
That's why everybody's like, Biden ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not willing to send us to war unnecessarily. That's exactly what we do. Where have you been?
Right. So many people have died in the Gulf War that should not have died.
Let's switch it up.
It should not have happened.
Your kid does not have to die. Like, your son does not need to go off and die in a war.
100%.
He does not need to do that.
The American lives should not be lost.
We don't expect that from him.
And to the point that you brought up back my comment about like how patriotism was a very different way back then.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form, before this ever gets taken out of context, right? Like, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that patriotism is bad. Right? All I'm saying is that there are two different kinds of patriotism. There's a patriotism that can be considered nationalist, where your country is trying to get you to do something in honor and in name of the country, and that could potentially backfire, because if they have bad intentions, now all your action is bad. You understand what I'm saying? Patriotism can be, still is, no matter what people say, can be an advocate for solutions in your country that have nothing to do with actually going and fighting and losing lives.
Yeah.
You can be you can deeply have love for your country and a deep love and admiration for your flag at that, without having to succumb to everything that they say at any point in time. Criticizing the place that you love should be as patriotic as blind faith. Because if you have blind faith for a country, that's just loyalty to real estate.
Absolutely.
That's not that's not actually critical thinking. That's not actually making decisions that can potentially change the country into a better place, right? So this idea that like patriotism can only be blind faith is not only ludicrous, but it actually gets people killed. Because a lot of soldiers will go and fight under this contract that they've signed for 4 years, however many years, this and that, under the guise of blind faith, and then they get labeled heroes when they're dying unnecessarily. Now, am I gonna say that they're not patriots or they're not heroes? Absolutely not. You went, you fought for something, and like you should be remembered. Shout out to the troops. Honor the troops at all times. But also, let's not try to lose them. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not try to get people killed. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather you be here with your family, enjoying the prospect and the life that freedom has provided you, instead of you dying unnecessarily for some shit that elitists have to say.